Hello, and welcome to my podcast, Empowered to Thrive. I'm your host, Corrine Powell. I'm an intuitive guide, and I absolutely love helping people to heal from within so that they can create a life that they love, a life that they enjoy. We weren't meant to just tolerate and get through life. We were meant to thrive and enjoy the life we're living. Of course, we will have seasons and moments that are difficult and challenging. And the beauty of it is that we can be supported in those moments. I am here to be an aid and a guide to support you. And I hope that you will enjoy not only today's episode, but some of the past episodes if you haven't heard them yet. On this podcast, I talk about all things inner wellness. We also sprinkle in some spirituality and parenting, because as a mom to 3 kids, parenting is a big part of my life. I hope that you enjoy the episode and that there's at least one thing you'll pull from it and start to implement into your own life. If you want to follow me in other ways, you can find me on Instagram, Corrine_Change Radically, or on Facebook, Change Radically. Would you do me a favor and share this podcast with your friends if you hear an episode that resonates with you? And would you also go ahead and give me a rating and review my podcast? It would mean so much to me, and I would appreciate it. I hope that you enjoy the episode and that we connect. Hello, friend. Today's episode is a special one because I just want to intuitively share from my heart words that I believe your heart needs to hear. And this is not scripted or planned, but I'm going to just let it be. What that might mean is that there will be some pauses and moments of quietness and stillness in between my words. Take advantage of those moments to connect with yourself, to recognize, just to notice any sensations you might be feeling in your body. Maybe you'll feel warmth, feeling of cool. You might notice your heart beating more rapidly or a feeling of settledness within yourself. Perhaps you'll notice a tingling sensation in your body or a heaviness in a part of your body. Whatever it is you might feel, just notice it. And I'm also hoping to encourage you to take some deep breaths. Inhale and hold, and then slowly exhale that breath. As you allow yourself to soak up and absorb the truth, the love, the care that I want to send your way. So if you can, get yourself into a comfortable spot. Hey, if you're washing dishes or you have little kids around you or you're running or driving in the car, that's okay too. But if you're able to lay down on the floor or lay down on your bed or sit cross-legged, go for it. And I want to start by saying you are so valuable. Yes, you. You are important. You matter. You matter. And I am so sad and angry for the moments that you have not felt like you mattered because of what people have said or done to you. It makes me angry because it's not as it should be. You deserve to be loved and to be given care and respect. And when people do things and say things, that is the opposite of that. It shouldn't be that way. It isn't okay. And I want you to know that. Why? Because we often tell ourselves, it happens to everyone, or maybe I did something to deserve it, or it's no big deal, or I just need to get over it. But really, it hurts us. It wounds us. It affects us at a heart level. And that matters. And so for this moment, I just want you to hear the opposite of those crushing, painful, insulting words or actions. And I just want you to know that you are so important. You add a beauty and an energy to the planet that nobody else can add. Yes, there is no one else quite like you, and that's a good thing. Sometimes we suppress our authentic self, that person that we would have become if we didn't stop him or her. I want to invite you to express and let that part of yourself start to live again. Who would you be if you let your authentic self show up? If you didn't get into the heads of other people and say, I don't know what they expect of me, or I don't know what they'll like from me, so I'm going to try to fit their mold. I'm going to try to be who they need me or hope for me to be. Nope. This is your invitation to start to walk away from that and to discover who you are, what you like, how you want to express yourself, and then to be able to start doing that in places that you're safe, that you're welcome to be yourself, your true self. Then that's not going to be everywhere. And as it gets easier, you'll be able to present that authentic part of yourself in more spaces. But for right now, you can just show up and practice letting that part of yourself be in the places and with the people that you know you're safe with. So I want to continue on, and I want to just remind you that life was meant to be enjoyed. Life is sometimes tolerated. Sometimes we just have to get by. We just have to get through difficult seasons, but it shouldn't always be that way. Life was meant to be enjoyed. You should get to enjoy the life you're living. Yes, there will be moments that are difficult and tough, moments that you wish away, still and always. But that doesn't have to be the norm. It doesn't have to be all the time. And I say that knowing that it once was my norm. Like, life was difficult, life was tough, I was just getting by, just surviving, and it's not that way anymore. I can sincerely tell you I enjoy the life I'm living, and other people that I sit with can tell you the same thing, and that's why I have hope for you. That's why I know it's possible. It's possible for you, no matter what you've been through. It's possible for you. You deserve to enjoy the life you're living. Yes, this is a moment to pause, to soak up that truth. I should get to enjoy the life that I'm living. If you believed that statement, if you internalized it and said, yes, 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 this is true, what would that mean for your life? How would you live differently? What would you do differently? Think about that. You can pause this episode, or you can just think about it right now. But what would that look like? What would that mean? It's a heavy question. It might mean you have to take action. I want you to hear from me that it's worth it. As hard as it might be, what comes on the other side makes it worth it. I don't mean to say that the healing journey is easy, but it's satisfying. It's liberating. It's worth it. Hey, we do hard things all the time, but sometimes the hard things reap a benefit. They produce something good. Think about when you exercise, if you exercise. That is not always inviting or easy, but you probably feel satisfied afterwards. You might even feel better. So it's worth it. It's why you go back to it. Because you remember, oh, this felt satisfying in the end. This was worth it in the end. I liked the results I got. That's the same with the healing journey. That's the results that people I work with find and experience. That's what I found and experienced for myself. The work I do is birthed out of my own healing. So I get to expect for others the things that I've seen manifested in my own life. It's not going to be the same for all of us, but I have a intense hope because I know what's possible. So let me wrap up by just saying who you are is good. Who you are is good. You are not dirty. You are not bad. You are not too much. You are not too much. No. No, you are beautiful, perfect. Please understand when I say you're perfect, I know you might still look in the mirror and say, but there's things about me I don't like. There's things about me that need to change. It's okay to hold space for that and to also hold space for the reality that I am good. I am perfect. This isn't me saying be in denial. It's an invitation to begin to start to embrace and accept yourself in a transformative way. When I say I'm perfect, it doesn't mean that I don't think there's nothing about me that needs to change. I actually can hold space for the reality of both of those things. I am so glad that you are alive. I am so glad that you were born and that you are alive. We need you. Just you being you. If you're tired, if you're worn out, if you don't feel like you have much to offer, that's okay. You just coming in and being in a space makes a difference. You matter. You are important. I'm interrupting the episode because there's something I want to tell you about. I'm starting up another round of group coaching. It'll begin September 27th, and I will host 4 meetings. We'll end October 25th. They will be held on Tuesday evenings at 7:15 Eastern Time. Now, this is for you if you're looking to create internal or external change. And yes, that sounds broad, so let me help you understand what we'll be talking about during those meetings. We'll be touching on mindset, why you think the way you do, why you function the way you do. We'll touch on how you view yourself. What do you think of your body? Are you taking care of yourself in the way you need to? Are you compassionate enough towards yourself? We will also talk about your inner child. How did your experiences as a kid and how are those experiences impacting you even to this present day? But we will not just talk. I will give you actionable steps that you can run with to create change in your life. And I will speak to your inner self so that you find healing and transformation at a deep level. And this is not me trying to promise you something that you're not going to get. This is me speaking from a place of experiencing it myself and observing those that I work with experiencing it as well. So I hope that you'll reach out and connect with me or go to my website, changeradically.com, and sign yourself up. This is going to be a fabulous opportunity, and I am looking forward to having each one of you join me on those Tuesday evenings. Now, back to the episode. Now, as you hear me say all these wonderful, beautiful things that you might have a hard time accepting or believing or receiving, I want to remind you that it's pretty normal to have thoughts that are oppositional to the things I just shared. If you self-sabotage, if you have a inner critic who often shows up and you bully yourself through your words or the thoughts that you think, then what I said is going to be even more important to choose, because we always get to choose what thoughts we think. We may not always think of it that way. It may not always feel like we're choosing our thoughts. But if we really take a hold of the thoughts we think, we can choose whether we're going to allow them to be positive or negative, kind and compassionate, or bullying, rude, cruel. So, with what I shared, you can go back and re-listen, or you can just take some time right now and actually consider, Kareen said these things. I don't really believe them about myself, and I'm not going to actually absorb them and accept them. I'm going to continue to think whatever it is I'm thinking. Or you can sit there and recognize the oppositional thoughts you might have or that might be showing up, because what's familiar is going to show up. And then you can choose. You can say, you know what, this is how I normally think of myself, but I'd actually prefer to think of myself the way Kareen just said. What she just said about me is a lot nicer, right? Even if you don't believe it, you can choose into it. Now, that's not going to be the only thing that gets you your healing, but it's one of those pieces. It's an actionable step you can take that will move you in a positive direction, that will help you to heal, that will help you to grow in self-love and self-compassion. Sometimes it takes standing in front of the mirror and apologizing to ourselves for the bully we've been, or it takes standing in front of the mirror and saying kind, loving things to ourselves that we wouldn't otherwise say. Maybe there's a part of your body you dislike and you need to stand in front of the mirror, or not even in front of a mirror if that's too hard, just in another place, just while you're driving or while you're washing dishes or while you're going through your day, just actually saying something to yourself that's kind, that's good. Body, I appreciate you. I appreciate the way that you carry me. Or maybe there's a part of your body you dislike and you actually want to confront it and say, you know what? Hey, I've been really mean to myself in this area, and it's time I change that narrative. So to this part of my body that I said was too big or too small or I disliked, I'm going to actually say something that's kind instead. Because again, the thoughts that we think affect us. They affect our emotions. They affect us on a cellular level. We get to choose what narrative we're going to have towards ourselves, what thoughts we're going to think. Becoming mindful is becoming more aware of the why we do things, of the why and what we're saying. So just what I said is great to listen to, but then you're going to need to take that next piece and decide, what am I going to do with what Kareen said? Am I going to absorb it, or am I going to deflect it and actually go back to the critical narrative that I usually say and think about myself? It's your choice. And if I can be, a further help, if anything I've said just really, really, really struck you in your soul, and you're like, you know what, this is good for me, I need more of this, please reach out. I would love to connect with you further. We've come to the end. What did you think about what you heard? I hope that there's something you pull from today's episode and start implementing it into your life. Create the change that you want to see, the change that you hear about. You have the opportunity to transform your life, and I'm ready to link arms with you and to help and guide you to the life that you want to live. If you resonated with what you heard today and it touched you, would you share it with your friends? Would you also go ahead and rate my podcast and write a written review? It would mean so much to me. I hope that we'll connect, whether it's for a session or just to connect because I enjoy meeting new people. You can find me on Instagram, Kareen_Change Radically, or on Facebook, Change Radically. You can also always email me, Kareen@changeradically.com. If you have thoughts, questions, or anything that you just want to talk about, send me an email. I hope that you have a wonderful week. But no matter what your week is like, in the moments that are quiet, maybe it's when you pillow your head at night, or when you're driving in the car or taking a walk, or maybe it's going to be in the midst of the chaos with your children or the craziness of work. I hope that you'll remember how significant you are, that there is meaning and value to your life, and that I, for one, am so glad that you're alive. Catch you again next week.